Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 158. Before I get into this week's review, I of course have to give a shout out to my wonderful patrons. Special thanks to Fuse, Neo, Dijon Redden, Anthony Chavez, Honey Mustard, Zach Rowitz, K-God, Chris Redfield, Scratch23, Rat, Ryzen 4K, Artist, Mac Campaign, and Wave of Manga. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. And if you too want to get a shout out at the start of videos or access to reviews for solo leveling and the Boxer, you can always become a patron as well. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. And of course, if you haven't already, you should definitely subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and be sure to like and leave a comment under this video. It helps boost us up in the algorithm. It'd be a big help. With that out of the way, let's get on with the review. With the way last chapter ended off, with Hikari agreeing to negotiate with Yuji and Megumi, I figured there was either one of two things going to happen. Either we were going to see the negotiation, or we were going to be going over to Yuta and seeing whatever he was going to be doing in one of the colonies. We ended up getting the former of those two, as most of the chapter is dedicated to the conversation between the Jujutsu Tech group and Hikari and Kirara. Kirara really doesn't say much this chapter. They're mostly just kind of there, but Hikari's the guy in charge, so they're mostly negotiating with him. We get Panda relaying to the others that Principal Yaga has died. There hasn't been like a super big reaction to it. I mean, they do seem kind of upset over it. To be fair, most of them probably don't know Yaga that well. I mean, Yuji points out that for Panda he was basically his father, but Panda seems to be alright, whatever that means. It's not really clear how much time has passed since this has happened, so I don't know what's going on with him. And Hikari seems to be a bit distressed by this, but he doesn't have like this big emotional reaction. He says the people I'm indebted to are going one after another. I should also state that he's surprised that Gojo was sealed. I mean, of course he would be. They literally say, well, what is it? Understandably astonished. So I wonder what exactly Hikari means by this. Did he feel like he had some kind of obligation to Yaga for him allowing him to go to Jujutsu Tech? I'm curious. I think we're definitely going to get some kind of Hikari flashback at some point, because, I mean, we just kind of have to. So hopefully we will get some more fleshing out of that in the future. We find out that Hikari is a little privileged. He's been living a bit of a good life. The last time he's been this depressed was when Yakul from Princess Mononoke got shot in the butt. So, yeah, if the last time you were really down in the dumps was when a fictional character was harmed, you're probably doing kind of okay. So Hikari agrees to help, but on the condition that they will cooperate with him once the Culling Games are over. He doesn't state what exactly he wants from them, but it'll be something to come in the future. He'll probably think of something. It seems to kind of be implied that they'll help him make his fight club part of the new establishment in the Jujutsu world. When he finds out that Megumi is head of the Zenin clan, and Hikari gets very excited. He thinks about what an opportunity this is, and he makes this stupid fucking face, suggesting that they get along. It's so dumb. And then we're reminded that the next day, Maki annihilates the Zenin clan, and we have a little chibi Maki here, which is hilarious and adorable. So that was a pretty funny moment there. The whole Zenin arc was just set up so we could have this joke that makes Hikari look like an idiot. Gege on the big brain plays. So now Kogane comes into the picture. You know, the little bug thing that manages the Culling game. This happens just after Panda mentions that Yuta was heading to Miyagi. And this is where we find out that a player has added a new rule to the Culling game. And this rule is that you can see the other player's name, how many points they have, and how many times they've added a rule, and also what colony they're in. So this was added by this new Culling game player. Their name is Kashimo Hajime. I'm pretty sure they're a dude. I'm 99% sure Hajime is a dude's name. They look a lot like Gojo, actually. Like, very weirdly similar to Gojo. I wonder if there's some kind of connection. They also have this hideous fucking pseudo pigtail haircut. It's kind of like what Chozo has, but worse somehow. Now, their introduction comes with them blowing a hole through a dude's chest. In fact, the first panel we see of them is a whole page seeing their face through the giant hole in this dude's body. So that's pretty fucking interesting. It seems like based on their staff and also sort of the lightning bolt marks near their eyes, that Hajime probably has some kind of lightning technique, which is pretty cool. We haven't gotten a fully dedicated lightning technique yet, so that's going to be pretty fucking awesome. Also, this person was around 400 years ago, which means they're one of the old-time sorcerers, and they've got to be a pretty huge badass. According to them, everyone they've been running into has just been a huge loser. They have killed at least 40 people. They have 200 points, and they are the one who creates this new rule to see how many points someone has, how many rules they've created, and what colony they're in, so that he can go and find strong people to fight. Or at least that's the inference here. So this is the first of the new players we get introduced. The other one is at the end of this chapter. But we kind of get some interesting theorizing here in character about how a lot of these cursed objects who have been consumed, all of these ancient sorcerers had contracts with Kenjaku. And most interestingly, Yuji is already a player in the culling game despite not going to enter one of the colonies. So, what's the deal with that? Well, the theory now is that Kenjaku made a contract with Sukuna, or rather, Sukuna made a contract with Kenjaku so that he could become a cursed object. Now, this is fascinating, because we haven't really gotten any information on how exactly Sukuna managed to become a cursed object. I think the main theory was that he had performed some kind of Buddhist mummification ritual, and as a result of that ritual, his consciousness was stored within his fingers, which became cursed objects. So that may still be a possibility. That may still play some factor into it. But it does seem now like a big possibility, and the fact that it's implied, in universe, is that Kenjaku was the person who helped Sukuna become his fingers so that he could endure the centuries. So Yuji is a player in the culling game because of Sukuna. He's basically the stand-in for Sukuna being a player in the game. It should also be of note that Hajime was looking for Sukuna. I don't know how they would know him if he's been sealed away for like 1,000 years. I don't know. Also, Hakari and Kirara had no idea that Yuji is Sukuna's vessel. So when he says Sukuna, they are both very confused. We also get this chibi Hakari, which is also very funny. So this is fairly interesting. This is an interesting development. This wasn't something I was expecting at all. You could say it's something of a plot twist. Not like a huge one or anything. Not like finding out Kenjaku is Yuji's mom plot twist, but an interesting detail nonetheless. We do have to wonder, how long has Yuji's existence been planned? It does seem to be like an Eisen on crack thing. I'm very much looking forward to finding out more about that. I mean, when we found out that Kenjaku was Yuji's mom, that was probably the most excited I was for new information in, like, the entire time I've been reading the series, maybe? Maybe! And this chapter just reminded me how interested I am in finding out more about Kenjaku's plan, and how exactly Yuji's birth fits into that plan. Speaking of plans, Megumi has an idea for winning the culling game, or saving Sumiki from the culling game, without having to kill anyone. And that is by finding someone who already has enough points to make a new rule, and having them make some new rules, such as allowing them to transfer points to other people, or allowing people to leave the culling game and swap out with someone from outside the game. So they have Kogane look up the list of players, and they find the 2 that have enough points to make a new rule. And these two players are, of course, already Hajime, and the other one, Higuruma Hiromi. Now, Hiromi is very interesting. He has a gavel here, he's in a suit and tie. He seems to be the guy from the parking garage. After the Cullen game was revealed, a lot of people thought he was a lawyer. He does seem to have some kind of little pin on his suit, so I think he may be the guy. He may be the dude. So we're finally getting this dude revealed. It's not clear if he's actually a judge. He may be. I mean, the gavel is a tool of a judge. Or he's a lawyer who always wanted to be a judge, and so he just fucking took one now that everything's going insane. So it seems like the game plan now is to find probably Hiromi, because he's apparently in the area that they're already in, Tokyo 1. And also, based on the panel at the end of the chapter, they seem to focus on Hiromi instead of Hajime. So I think it's pretty clear he's the guy they're going for first. I guess also based on the points, Hajime is probably the strongest person in the Cullen game right now. Or at least the most active person in the Cullen game, if he's gotten 200 points already. So what's probably going to be happening is our group here is going to be going after Hiromi. They're going to run into him. He may be kind of an insane asshole. Actually, if he already has 100 points, he's probably a bad guy. And Hajime is also going to be going after Hiromi, because Hiromi is going to be at the top of the list for people that Hajime can go and fight who will give them a good time. I'm wondering if Hajime is going to be another special grade. That could be interesting. Of course, you know, according to Gege, the sorcerer grades don't matter anymore, which is true. I don't remember the last time they were brought up. Was it... I think it was the Zenon arc. Yeah. So, whatever. The deal is they're going to be really strong. We're probably going to have some kind of three-way fight. That should be interesting. Have we gotten one of those before? I don't remember. I don't think so. Well, that should be neat. And I think this is something we're going to see later, because I think first we're going to focus on a mini-arc for Yuta, because he hasn't gotten his yet. He was name-dropped in this chapter. They mentioned him going off to Miyagi, so I assume we're going to get a few chapters to see what he's up to, just like we got for Maki and Yuji and Megumi. So I'm imagining what he's going to do is he's going to run into someone really strong. Maybe he'll run into Hajime. Probably not. I think Hajime is probably going to be running into the main group based on this chapter. Yuta will run into a different strong guy. Maybe someone who doesn't have 100 points yet. That's why the squad isn't going after him. Yuta will fight that guy. He'll be really strong. It'll mostly be just to show off how stupidly strong Yuta is, what the deal is with Rika, all that fine and dandy stuff we've been waiting for since, like, January. So, yeah. Good chapter overall. Very excited to see what we get into next week. So with that, that's all I have to say for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reactions and reviews. Every week we get a new chapter. If you enjoy discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce in this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have linked to that down in the description. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Kengan Omega, Chainsaw Man, and Bleach, I do videos in those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys around, take care.